Whew, it's been a long time since we've done a voting poll here on the channel. What's up? It's your boy Dynasty with another Mortal Kombat 1 MK Uno video, because since we got to the Peacemaker trailer earlier this week, it's been pretty interesting to see the feedback from the community in regards to our upcoming cameo fighter that's dropping along with Peacemaker, that being none other than Janet Cage. And I have seen both sides of the spectrum here. Some people believe that WB is wrong for including Janet Cage as part of the combat pack because initially, you guys do know, it was advertised as Johnny Cage being part of the cameo fighter DLC, not Janet. The flip to that is, well, why would we get another base roster character as DLC featured as a cameo character when we can kind of spice things up a bit, give some variety? Hey, Janet Cage makes some sense in that regard. Now, I understand both arguments personally. I'm kind of caught in between both. I hate to say I'm fence sitting on this one, but I kind of am. I do think it's kind of scummy how WB Games was, you know, taking pre-orders and all that stuff for months and months and months and months and months. And up until literally Peacemaker's trailer, we didn't know if it was Johnny, if it was Janet. If you've been covering what's been going on lately, or watching what's been going on lately rather, you guys do know it was kind of flip-flopping for a few months. For a long time, it was Johnny. For a few months, it was Janet. Then another press release came out and said Johnny. Then now it's Janet. So I just wish there would have been some consistency. That's really my one complaint, because technically speaking, they lied. WB lied. No matter how you feel about Janet or Johnny, they lied to a lot of people. However, getting Johnny as a cameo fighter wouldn't really be, I think, that annoying when you consider that we have other characters on the main roster that serve the same purpose. You know, a Scorpion, a Sub-Zero. Why not Johnny? You know what I mean? Make it the classic Mortal Kombat 1 or MK2 Johnny. That would have been fine too. So I understand both arguments here. For me personally, I'm kind of 50-50 split on it. I just do think it is scummy how they lied. But regardless, because of their, being such a crazy, polarizing opinion in either direction, it seems like there's not really any middle ground here unless you're Dynasty. I took to the community page for the first time in a long time. You guys know, going back to the days of Mortal Kombat X, Mortal Kombat 11, I used to do these voting polls, and I figured, hey, if there was ever a time to do a voting poll to get your opinion, to gauge what you guys think, at least my audience, my community here, let's do it for Janet Cage. So I asked last night, who would you choose as the next Combat Pack DLC cameo fighter? Janet or Johnny Cage? And 64% of you guys out of the 7.3k votes want Johnny instead of Janet. So in today's video, doing a deep dive into the feedback I got on this voting poll. And obviously, you don't gotta stick around to watch me read all the comments, but what you could do is drop a like on the video, maybe in the comment section down below. Give me your take on this entire situation, because again, no matter how you feel about Janet or Johnny personally, when it comes to the character, it's kind of scummy what they did in terms of the marketing for this. They should have just been consistent. They should have told us, from the jump, hey, it's going to be Janet, not Johnny. Instead, we had to wait until this last week to really get an answer. Now, when it comes to the top comments here, let's scroll down. Johnny's on the main roster, so I'm fine with literally any gimmick cameo fighter over him in theory, which I completely understand, because again, a lot of you guys aren't a fan of a lot of these main roster characters being featured in both the cameo roster and the main roster. Was honestly surprised by how many combo extensions I've seen from her. I'm definitely interested for sure. We still don't know exactly the meta for the cameo fighter. We're going to find out this week, this Tuesday, in the Combat Cast. So we'll see what she actually has in store for us. Classic MK2 Johnny. Agreed, that probably would have been really cool. I'm fine with Janet being a cameo because we have Johnny as a main character, but just imagine having two Johnnies on the same team. Yeah, a stunt double. That would have been perfect in theory, right? Johnny Cake. That one made me giggle. Johnny's already a main fighter, so I'd prefer Janet as a cameo. Either have old, forgotten, less popular fighters return as cameos, or use it to tease entirely new characters this way. Would build anticipation and lore around them, like with old hidden characters. I agree. Personally, I'd rather not have clone duplicate cameo fighters. I was hoping that the cameo fighter roster, the option to have cameos as part of the main meta for MK1's gameplay, would allow us to have the Dramans of the world, the Mocaps of the world, hell, the Hornbuckles, the Bellocks of the world. But instead, you know, we get a character that was only featured for like 5 minutes at the end of the story mode because multiverse story. I'm indifferent on either really, as long as they function interestingly. I feel like it would be awesome to have OG Johnny as Janet's skin. I don't think it could be that hard to do. Facts. They could fix the issue between this being like a polarizing problem if they just simply give Janet Cage a Johnny Cage MK2 costume. Like, that would literally appease every single person on every side of this, which I think is a great solution to this quote-unquote air quote problem. Literally neither Johnny is already main roster, and they keep doing already existing characters as cameos, which is not creative at all, especially considering the fact that they have so many other characters that aren't on the main roster that they can make into cameos. I agree. I wish it was someone obscure. I do. There's dialogue about Raiden having a sister instead of a brother, so I think we'll see a female Fujin as well. Yeah, that's definitely a possibility, as well as a female Cyrax, which, again, I get it. When you're talking about different multiverses, from that standpoint, it makes sense, but I just simply ask, why is it needed when you have other characters who are already missing that are already kind of like deep-rooted in the Mortal Kombat lore? That just seems to make more sense than just gender-swapping characters, but it kind of is what it is. There's no need for Giant to be in the cameo roster. What is a typo? He's already in the main roster. Or roaster. Rhymes of toaster. Janet has the classic Johnny Green powers. We'll have to wait and see. I do know that during the shadow kick, she is glowing green, which I think is really cool. I think Cyber Smoke should still be a character. Where's the skin? Johnny stunt double. Neither. I actually have no problem with Janet Cage. The whole point of it is it's a joke and is playing into the multiverse stuff, when in reality, she is just Mortal Kombat 9 timeline Johnny, but female. However, I don't like cameo slots being wasted by characters that are already on the main roster. We already have Kung Lao, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and now Johnny Cage. Again, this is a sentiment I keep saying, which I completely understand and agree with. I definitely do see where you guys are coming from. I've never wanted Johnny Cage to stay out of a game as much as I do now, until he once again got a majority of the game's skins. Not to mention, he's still OP as hell. He's still S tier. He's top tier to this day. To this day. Classic Johnny Gage. I think he meant Cage. For now, I'm going to go with Janet Cage. It would be interesting to see her moveset. Plus, Johnny's already in the game as a main character. So again, like I mentioned, the flip side, variety. A lot of you guys just wanted some variety. Is Johnny Cage coming as a cameo too? Maybe through a skin? Could have easily added a Johnny skin for Janet with all the unhappy people. Facts. It'll probably cost you $10, but it's definitely a possibility. I already don't want to fight Johnny, let alone two Johnny Cages. Janet Cage is like Johnny Cage's long-lost sister. Johnny Cage. I remember the cameo list saying Johnny Cage, but I'm actually glad it's Janet instead. Would be cool if she was a fully playable character with different attacks and more background story, but not in Johnny's place, so cameo's fine. I want the cameo roster to be different from the main roster as much as possible. You know what is also kind of like circulating is a lot of people who wanted to see, instead of it being Janet, Cassie, which I agree. You would have thought of Cassie would have made more sense, but when you think about the fact that she's going to be parts of the upcoming Combat Pack 2 DLC, you would have had the same situation. You would have had Cassie as the main roster DLC character plus as a cameo DLC character. So again, it's the same double Johnny situation. So in that regard, Janet still kind of makes more sense than even having Cassie plugged in there, because a lot of people were saying just put Cassie, but like I just said, you'd have two Cassies then at the end of the Mortal Kombat 1 life cycle. So the problem would persist. How about neither of them? How about someone unique like Mocap? Facts! Give us someone that's not on the base roster. Doesn't matter if they're only visible for 3 seconds. Missed opportunity, just called Janet Cassie. Well, we just broke that one down. We already have Johnny as a main fighter. How about some new characters? I agree. Definitely understand that. Cassie. Love Johnny, but because he's already in the game, Janet. So you can see it's definitely split. It's definitely split. To be honest, I don't even know why people want Johnny as a cameo when he's already a playable character in the game. Again, it's always the same sentiments. A lot of you guys just want to see these cameo fighters be people other than what we already have on the main roster. John Pesina's Johnny Cage. Now that would have been cool, actually, having Master Pesina. I would choose both. Yeah, add a skin. Don't need any other Cage on the game, neither. Janet is pure cringe. Why would people want 2 Johnnies? That's dumb. Janet makes sense with the whole premise of the game. Yeah, for sure. With this game being, again, based in multiverses and stuff, it's a nice way to tie her into, I guess, the lore, with her being an actual character that's playable and not just in the background for a few minutes at the end of the Armageddon ending, and then she just falls into a hole and dies. So at least for those who hate Janet, in theory, in canon, she's dead. So, but so is Sindel. They can always come back. Cassie, I love Janet. The last time I really cared about Johnny was MK Trilogy. I'm all for Janet, though. Who the hell is Janet Cage? Who the hell is Janet Cage? Neither, but we know it's Janet Cage. The worst cameo I've seen in this game, Janet Cage. None. WTF. We don't need any more Johnnies. Waste of a cameo. Trash. It's basically Johnny Cage. None. The game is dead. Why isn't the cameo fighter just Cassie Cage? Neither, really. Neither. So there you go. That's kind of the discussion about Janet or Johnny. It seems like everyone's pretty much split in either loving or hating. A few of us are kind of okay with either or, but personally, I can understand both sides to the coin here. My opinion really doesn't matter. I think none of our opinions really matter because we're going to get Janet Cage at this point, but I just thought it was probably something we're talking about because, again, WB in their marketing, they straight up lied to us, and it's interesting seeing the whole situation unfold. And I figured, hey, why not make a quick video showcasing this because you guys are involved. I love doing these voting polls. Maybe if it, something like this happens again, I'll do another one. If you guys have other voting poll recommendations like this, let me know in the comment section down below. But truly, let me know your thoughts. How do you feel about the situation? Are you team Janet, team Johnny, team neither? If you guys enjoyed the video, do me a solid, take a second, drop a like on it, of course. Subscribe for some more MK content like this on the channel. Until next time, been your host, Dynasty. Guys, please take care, stay safe. I love ya. And boy, have I seen some crazy theories on why Janet Cage is in this game. And I'm gonna just stay away from that because, dude, tinfoil hats are crazy sometimes. I don't think it's that deep, but some people really do. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Full of